Hey, one thing I forgot to mention, and I'm sorry about these little I forgots. I'm so used to I've been doing tiling for a while. Sometimes I just do things without thinking about, hey, I have to show you guys how to do it. When I was putting the tiles down, I don't know if you noticed, but I was leaving spaces between each one. Those spaces are the grout line spaces. I was doing them off the top of my head. I knew the approximate size, but best way to figure out your exact spacing, and we'll show you how to do this with laying tile, but when you dry fit, you want to use what's called tile spacers. These particular tile spacers are a hard plastic, and they're 3/16 in width. This size is actually one of my favorites for the floor. I find it's not too wide. You can do 1/4 inch. Personally, I find those to be too wide. These ones here are a rubber version of the spacers. Whichever one works great. I've used them both. I don't really have a preference. Either one works fine. This one is also 3/16. Now there's also 1/8 inch, which generally isn't a great idea to use for a floor. It's not a big enough grout line. On the floor, there's a lot of movement generally, and with an 1/8 inch grout line, it doesn't give it that much space to move at all. So I wouldn't recommend using an 1/8 unless you're doing like a wall tile, and that's in a totally different video. We'll be talking about that another time. But I don't recommend 1/8 inch, but you can go bigger than 3/16. You can go up to 1/4. I don't even know if there's bigger than 1/4 inch. That I definitely wouldn't recommend, or else you would just be seeing more grout than tile. But 3/16 is a general good size to use. So when we'll go down and show you the dry fit again, we will use these spacers. So what you would do to space these out properly, I was doing them by just out of the top of my head. Apparently I was a little small, but you would just put them in, and it's a lot easier when it's in a better mortar. There's not so much flopping around. You would just put the spacers in here. Hopefully you can see this all right. Then you get more of an accurate measurement of how far apart each tile is. So that'll help you to know your exact measurements on your dry fit. If you don't have a friend or a cameraman to help you out, when you're snapping your lines, what I have done in the past is, if you're putting it on a wood floor, no problem, real easy. Take a nail it into the floor on your mark, hook your chalk line on, string it out, bam-o, done, no problem. If you don't have a wood floor, like now with concrete, you can't put a nail in. So what I've done before is I've taken a heavy object. Since I'm tiling, I take a stack of tiles, which they come in a box, and I would wrap, I'll come down here and I'll show you, we'll wrap the string around the pile of tiles. You don't even need necessarily to wrap, you just stick it on, and once it's in, as you can see, it's fairly hard to pull it. It holds it down quite well. If you need to wrap it a second time, that's okay, that works too. But that's a great way to keep your line down there and flat if you're working on your own.